Ayo, back at it again with another video. So this video is about expansion possibilities for the NWSL. So the National Women's Soccer League was created in 2012, so 10 years ago, pretty recently. There are 12 teams. Portland Thorns got 3 titles. You got the Shield, which is looking like the best regular season record. You got the OL Reign, which is based in Seattle. So you got North Carolina Courage also has 3 shields. So 12 teams. We're going to move down to see where all 12 are located. You got 5 of them out west, and you got a bunch of them kind of around the country. So you got the OL Reign, and then you got the Portland Thorns, and then also there is a team in the Bay Football Club. I love that logo. It reminds me of the kind of like the Brooklyn Dodgers logo, kind of that little retro, vintage, B. I think that's kind of cool. Angel City, very very successful. I think they just started a couple of years ago. I know they have a lot of high profile ownership group. Got Natalie Portman. Who else we got? Serena Williams. You got Jennifer Garner. You got Ava Longoria, Lily Singh, and Casey Neistat. You also got a whole bunch of others. Looks like additional members. You got Billie Jean King, Candace Parker, PK Subban, Becky G. James Corden's part of the leadership. That's actually kind of cool. And Natalie from David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad. All right, so you got BMO Stadium. You got 22,000. That's a pretty good numbers. You can see 20,000 if that's soccer specific, and it looks like it is. You got the San Diego Wave, Utah Royals, which I love that color scheme. That logo is cool. Got KC Current, which I know, Patrick Mahomes is part of that ownership team. Looks like they were just, 2 years ago. Well, 3 years ago if you're counting 2020 to 2023, but there we go. Kansas City Current. You got Houston Dash, which joined the 2014 and is affiliated with the Dynamo. Looking that logos look very very similar, which is kind of cool. All right, so Houston Dash, Chicago Red Stars. You got Louisville Racing, Louisville, North Carolina Courage. Sorry, got Orlando Pride, very successful franchise. You got Washington Spirit at Audi Field, and then the New Jersey Gotham FC. 12 squads, a lot of room to grow. Just in 10 years, they've grown from nothing, and then you got 12 squads, and then you got very very successful. A lot of teams. You got the Thorns are very successful. Angel City. You got Pride and Gotham and all these rest of these squads. So there's a lot of room to grow, a lot of potential. So where do I think they can potentially expand? All right. So you got much of the West Coast covered. You got Seattle, you got Portland, you got the Bay, you got LA, you got NorCal, SoCal covered. You got Utah. I think one would be really cool in Denver. I think Denver, the fans in Denver, especially for the Broncos and the Rockies and the Avalanche, and especially the Denver Nuggets recently, with their recent success. I think that Denver market would be a really cool place for the NWSL. Maybe Vegas, maybe Phoenix, You can potentially play at football stadiums until you decide if you want a soccer specific stadium. I think another one in, either we got Houston already, Houston Dash. I think Austin would be really cool. You already got Austin FC. You already got the facilities. You got Q2 Stadium in Austin, which is soccer specific. You got FC Dallas. I think they have a soccer specific stadium. Toyota Stadium. Okay, so Toyota Stadium is also soccer specific. So there is room to grow, especially in Texas. You have 2 soccer specific stadiums, one in Dallas Fort Worth, the Metroplex, the region, and then you got Austin. So I think you can definitely fit 2 more soccer squads in Texas. Texas is like Cali. It's a pretty big state. Cali already has 3. I think it could definitely fit 3 teams in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, so you have a lot of space, and I think there's a lot of room to grow for the NWSL in Texas. All right, moving on. I personally think St. Louis. You already got KC current. St. Louis just opened a very beautiful stadium called City Park. It's gorgeous. It literally just opened within the past year. You got a capacity of 22,400. I think a NWSL squad in St. Louis would be very cool. There's also a newish stadium in Minnesota. The Minnesota United play at Allianz Field, which again, beautiful stadium, gorgeous. I would love to see a soccer game there. I think there are beautiful facilities in St. Louis and Minneapolis that I think a NWSL team in both would be very good. Beautiful facilities, loyal fan bases. Minneapolis and St. Louis could definitely have a lot of room to grow in, especially here in the Midwest. For my Major League Soccer video, I recommended an MLS squad go to Indianapolis. And I'm going to say the exact same thing in my NWSL video. I think Indianapolis would be a beautiful spot and a beautiful fit for an NWSL squad. The backdrop of Lucas Oil Field would be really good. That's a gorgeous facility. The Colts play there. You got a loyal fan base. I think Indianapolis would be great. Detroit, you got Ford Field. I think Ford Field in Detroit, closed environment, beautiful stadium. I think Detroit would be a good spot also. If we look at, there's just new facilities in Cincy. I think Columbus just opened a new stadium too, if I'm not mistaken. Lower.com Field. When did it open? Broke ground in 2019, opened in 2021. So very, very recent. You can either, I think Louisville might be that'd be a really good competition with, rivalry with Racing Louisville. But I think the Columbus, and give them enough, space to develop their fan bases. I think a team in Columbus would be really good. You got a beautiful facility that the Columbus Crew just opened. Lower.com Field. I think that would be very good. In my MLS video, I also said Pittsburgh for MLS expansion, which I'm also going to include in my NWSL video. I think Pittsburgh is a really good option. I think, you got Three Rivers, you got the gorgeous backdrop of Three Rivers from the Steelers Stadium. Steelers have a loyal fan base, Pirates have a loyal fan base. Pittsburgh I think would be a great fit for a NWSL team. Where else? I think Nashville. Would be great. They're building a new Tennessee's Titans stadium, multi-billion-dollar facility. Speaking of multi-billion-dollar facilities, Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. The Atlanta United have very loyal fan base. So I think an Atlanta United, but also a NWSL team in Atlanta would be good. It could also play at Mercedes-Benz Field. It could, potentially play elsewhere. I think that Atlanta metro market is growing rapidly and would be a perfect fit for another team. Maybe another team in Florida. Inter Miami is going off right now because Miami is the destination spot for none other than the GOAT himself, Lionel Messi. I think a NWSL team, you already have Orlando Pride, very, very successful. I think if you have an NWSL team in Miami, that would be a really cool rivalry. You got Pride versus whatever the name of the Miami team would be. And then you could also have a Atlanta, Georgia, Carolina rivalry. You got Courage here in North Carolina. I think they could definitely move into, I think they should kind of like rebrand. Instead of saying North Carolina Courage, you kind of like rebrand it just Carolina to broaden your reach, and then you can have a Carolina-Atlanta rivalry. What else? Philadelphia Union is very successful MLS team. What is their facilities? You got Subaru Park, gorgeous. It looks like relatively recent, 2010, so still relatively new. Gorgeous facility. I think Philly would be a great landing spot. I think a Philly, Philly DC or Philly New York or Philly Pittsburgh rivalry would be good. You got the Gothams, New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. I love the fact that the nickname is the Goths and the Bats. I think that's cool. We got Red Bull Arena. Owners looks like Governor Phil Murphy and his wife Tammy are the ownership. They didn't quite do too well in 2022. They finished dead last, but I think that New York market is just massive. And then if you want, you can add a team in Boston, the New England. Have a New England-New York rivalry. Maybe move into the Canadian market in Toronto, maybe Montreal, or both. I just think the NWSL has so much room for growth and so much potential that I am beyond excited for what the future holds for women's soccer and how that translates to women's sports more generally. So, team in the Bay, you could have, a team in Vegas, a team in Denver, maybe another in Phoenix, and then maybe two in Texas. You got that Texas Triangle is going off right now in terms of population. St. Louis and Minneapolis have gorgeous facilities. Nashville, Indianapolis, Columbus, Detroit, Philly, Atlanta. Another in Miami, you got Philly, Boston, Toronto, Montreal, maybe Vancouver and Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg. There's just so much possibility to grow. Maybe another one in NorCal. Maybe have one in El Paso and kind of include New Mexico market. I just think there's so much opportunity and so much potential, and I'm so beyond excited to see where they go. So that is the end of the video. The potential expansion spots for the NWSL, the National Women's Soccer League. With that, that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.